Hello everyone, welcome back for more G55 action. Today it's going to be two different battles on Norway. This was in the midst of I think I had a 10 battle, 30% Lion booster going, so I just did it all with my premium G55S because I still had one more last aircraft to unlock for my Italians. So just did 10 battles in a row with the G55S. We're going to skip ahead here and save you guys watching me go in for the torpedo attack on Norway, or at least watching me travel to the torpedo attack. We'll pick it up at the beginning of the torpedo run. So you'll notice that the two battles from today are both going to look very similar in how they unfolded, starting with the torpedo attack on the light cruisers for both of them, and it's just the way it went. Now, I had to re-record the audio for both of these because naturally for both battles I was watching a YouTube video on my other screen from Tech Deals. If you haven't watched Tech Deals and you would like to follow stuff about computers, he's a great YouTube channel to follow. So of course, the one or two battles where I paused the video to actually play the battle just in case it was a good battle, they ended up being terrible, and the ones where I was like, alright, forget it, I'm not going to do good today, just keep playing and grinding and just watch this video in the background, I did great. So had to re-record the audio, so you'll notice that the in-game chat tree sounds don't work for most of the first battle until I finally realized the battle was going to be good, and I paused it and I went back and redid the so we'll pick up the actual in-game audio from there, but you'll notice when it happens there's a little bit of a sound change. But anyway, I like this tactic right here, and I do it both times in both of these battles of moving in, dropping the torpedo off at somewhat close to max range on the light cruisers, and then hauling off back towards the middle of the fight and going to full power and climbing. And it really works well. It works even better. There we go. Alright, we're back on the in-game audio now. There was the little hang-up there. Anyway, as we get back closer to the fight here, the benefit to launching the torpedo off and then moving towards the battle, and it's even better in the second battle, is that by the time the game shows everyone that you've killed a light cruiser, they'll see that they'll go looking for you over by the light cruisers, and you're nowhere near it anymore, and it's longer, and there's much more time in the second battle than there is in the first one. Anyhow, then by the time I get up to the actual fight going on here, I get in chasing behind this P-47, and there's the kill on the light cruiser. See, I'm already engaged in the battle over here, and everybody sees that I knocked out a light cruiser. So people might go looking for me and not find me there. At any rate, I get into a diving chase after this P-47 and get pretty good shots on him. Take his tail off, and that's it for the P-47. Roll back around, looking for the F-82 that we saw, as my pilot G's himself out. I come around and roll right up into this P-51 that's in a bit of a climbing, diving dogfight with our BF-109. The 109 gets an advantage on him from behind. He's diving for the deck. I get a couple of passing shots at him that weren't very good. And as I'm trying to roll in behind him and follow him just like the P-47, the 109 goes way farther fast past me. So now I'm just following and making sure nobody gets on his tail and let him take out the P-51, which he does quite nicely. And then roll back in for see what the next target is going to be. So we've got a couple of friendlies and a couple of enemies engaged in a fight going on up here in front of us, and I'm going to move in and try to get involved with that. Back off the engine from left just to cool it off a little bit, and see if I can't get in here and get joined up here and present a bit of a numbers advantage for our team. F-82 is coming at me almost head-on, thankfully not head-on. I'm able to roll in right behind him. I don't exactly display the world's best shooting here, as you'll see, but it was enough to get him. Just not quite pulling lead well enough. But one hit is all it really takes. I did still have plenty of ammunition left to finish him off. We did finish off the other guy at the same time as well, so like I said here for the teammates, land if you need to. I've got no damage on me. I still have 300 rounds of ammo between my three cannons. That's plenty to cover anybody chase off anybody who tries to come in and pick off our guys' landing. So if our guys can get down to A and rearm and refuel, so much the better. Especially if they need to repair. So we'll climb back up again and get some altitude. There's only a few players left on the enemy team, quite a few left on our team at this point, so we're doing well. I do like to go after the AI bow fighters on this map with the G55S if I get the chance, but that leaves you much more vulnerable to counterattack, and you get killed fairly often going after them. There are a lot of enemy planes that will come in and go right to their friendly bow fighters, expecting someone to be there picking them off. So when you go in on the light cruisers with a torpedo attack, you can get a pretty... you get like 700 score, and a fair amount of lions for killing the light cruisers as well, so... The light cruiser is a little more reliable. Sometimes you will get guys that will come over and look for P-108s attacking the light cruisers as well, so it's not a guarantee that you're not going to encounter any enemies over there, but at least you're more well-equipped to deal with them in a G-55 than you are in a P-108. At any rate, going to get involved in the three of the four remaining fighters all over here in a cluster with some friendlies. Trying to get in there and help them. I was trying to get the guys to turn back towards us if they could, but I know it's not always possible. There are landing craft at A, and I was briefly considering going back there and shooting them up as well to protect our airfield. And one of the enemies gets taken out up front, bringing the odds a bit more in our favor. 2-1. That's pretty well in our favor. And this P-51 decides he wants to come at me head-on. I actually got some pretty good hits on him from pretty far out. So I went from terrible shooting on the F-82 to pretty decent shooting on the P-51, which was where it was kind of more important. Coming in to try and get some help on our... give some help to our guys up here at A, or not at A, up ahead of me, and they finish him off pretty quickly, leaving one guy left. Can't tell what he is at this point. It turns out he's actually a B-25. I could see him earlier in the battle, so I knew what he was. But judging by his score, you wouldn't be able to tell. And in a moment, somebody actually spots him, marks him up on the map. He's back hanging out over by our bombing targets. I can't see him in all the clouds and everything here. But roll back in to go and render more assistance to the three attackers here who really don't need it, and they finished him off, and that would be it for the enemy team. All the damage I took in that battle was one barely yellow panel on the right wing, so not too bad. Throw the smoke on, pull off 3 victory rolls for the 3 air kills, and that'll be it for the battle.
Awesome!
Team did pretty well on this one.
Thanks!
So that's it for the first one of 2. So I ended up in 2nd place after some air strafing ground targets from somebody else. I scored 105,560 lions. That's pretty darn good. 12,800 vehicle research towards the G91R1. Also pretty good. As you can see, the 30% line booster paid pretty well. Just imagine if I'd have had a 100 or 150 or 300. But that's alright. Still a pretty good battle. There's the awards, and we'll move on to the second half. Now we'll pick this battle up much closer to the torpedo drop. Now with the torpedoes on the G55S, they actually have a 3-kilometer total travel range, which if you can have your speed down below the maximum drop, which I didn't in this one, but if you can get your speed down below the maximum drop speed before you get to 3 kilometers, you can drop it right at 3 kilometers, and it will go the whole way. And the nice thing about Norway is these light cruisers don't move, so you could get lined up and drop your torpedo from 3 kilometers out. You're going to hit your target unless someone else kills it before your torpedo gets there. And so like I was saying in the first half of the video, now look how much time I have. Well, I skipped ahead quite a bit, but there's quite a lot of time and travel before the torpedo gets to the target. And the side benefit to this is potentially someone might see that you just attacked a light cruiser and turn around and go chasing you down to look for you there. and potentially you're drawing an enemy off, distracting him away from where the actual battle's happening, and by the time he gets there, you're way, way away and have rejoined the rest of your team in the actual fight. So it may not ever work out that way, but there's a potential hidden benefit to it. So I did time travel a bit ahead there after the torpedo drop to get up to altitude and spare you guys the climb when nothing was happening. And then got up here and noticed there's an XF5F, and I'm going to try to push in and get involved in the air fight going on over here by our bombing zones. Now, real quick, before there's any battle, I did really I loved this battle during Operation Summer. I loved this map, rather, during Operation Summer with my P-108s. Any of them that got the 3 torpedoes on them, you go in low and get to where those light cruisers are, and you can easily drop all 3 torpedoes and line up 1, 2, and 3, right to left, left to right, whatever, on the first group of the 5 light cruisers off to the right. You can easily hit the farthest right ship, the farthest left ship, and the ship in the middle with all your 3 torpedoes. And you get about 700-something score for each one of them, so you would easily get over 2,000 score. It was a guarantee, unless some enemy actually got there faster than you and shot you down before you could get your torpedoes off. So you may not necessarily win the battle, and you weren't going to get your kills that way, probably, but you could get the 2,000 score component of Operation Summer easily with the P-108 on this map. It was great. So I really did like getting Norway during that. However, back to the actual battle here. I'm going to be able to roll in on this XF5F who's chasing after our C-205. At first I was going to chase down the B-25 because he is a bit of an easier target, and then realized that I can always go back after the B-25 later. He can't really win the battle, so I'm going to try to lend some assistance to my poor C-205 here getting chased by the XF5F. And unlike my shooting in the first battle, that was not too bad right there. Pretty efficient with the ammo. And then rolled back in to move down and go after this P-47, who's seemingly tumbling out of control, and certainly has a one of my friendly fighters right behind him, so I'm going to ignore him and let him go. And I'm going to head for this dot that has an awful lot of our friendly AAA firing at it. When I check back down at the P-47, there's another friendly heading in on him, so definitely fine with letting him go. Besides, there's a Wellington over here, and those are pretty hard to resist. The B-25 was a pretty easy target. A Wellington is a lot easier. The geodesic construction in the wings and the fuselage does make it a little bit more difficult to take out, but the 7.7 for his defensive gunners is much less effective than the 50 cals are on the B-25, so not about to ignore a Wellington if it presents itself as a target. Had a little bit of sloppy shooting here in my initial, but once I got lined up directly behind him, it got much better. He didn't take very long to burn out. I was a little bit surprised. So I was talking to the guy who was asking for somebody to leave him a kill, saying, if you don't have any kills, go take out the landing craft. It protects our airfield, which was being taken at the time, and if you got to salvage some sort of score, the landing craft will pay fairly well. They don't pay as well as killing airplanes, but if it's getting late in the battle, you need to go and, if you need to get some kind of score, go shoot up whatever landing craft are taking the A point. It protects the A point for our team to land and repair, and you'll get some sort of score. Didn't matter in this battle. They got there and took it first, but... So this Spitfire here, now that we've lost the A point, our team will have to fly all the way back to the main airfield to land, rearm, refuel, repair, etc. So the Spitfire is following some of our guys who are actually on their way back to the main airfield. So I'm trying to get up to where I can do something to him. He's well above me, he's got a speed advantage, he's diving and I'm climbing, and I'm already at a speed deficiency here. But I'm trying to get up to him, catch up to him. You can see we've got 4 guys heading back to our main airfield, and I don't know if they're damaged, if they've got no ammo, whatever. But I want to try and catch up to this guy and draw him away from our guys so they can get back, because that's 4 guys there that I'd like to make it back to the airfield, get fully recovered, and get back into the battle with us. We may need them later. So I'm doing everything I can to show up on his radar I don't know if he's already seen me or not, or try to just draw him away from my friendlies. And as I get closer, he must have decided he wasn't going to make it in on our guys, or he didn't want to mess with the AAA back at our main airfield, but he turned around and came back. And I was watching him to see if he was going to come and actually engage with me, and he seemed content to just stay up at altitude. And then he turns and is heading away back towards the A point. So I don't know if he decided maybe it would behoove him to land and rearm and refuel and repair himself. But he goes diving away very rapidly to get back towards the A point, as I'm getting a little low and slow again. Or a little slow, not low. Low airspeed. And right when I thought, okay, he's running away, go ahead and land, he's running away to A, he decides that he's not actually running to A, and must have finally recognized that I was a threat to him somehow, or decided that he wasn't damaged enough to worry about it. And right about there, he decides to pause and turn around and come back after me, so I don't really mind. I've got plenty of ammo, I've got no damage, and I've drawn him off successfully from my friendlies. He didn't seem to want anything to do with the cannons I was firing off at him. He may have been low on ammo, I think, which is probably why he was initially heading back to the A point. But I'm trying to get hits on him here and get back around, and right about here is where I switched over from offensive flying to defensive flying, because he's got a pretty good energy advantage on me, and I'm just at this point going to try and keep him from being able to get a firing solution on me. Can't quite get the guns around on him faster than he's going to be able to get his guns on me, so doing everything I can to keep him from getting his guns on me right now. And as you can see, one of the 4 guys who was heading back to our airfield did disengage and come back over to help me out, thankfully, so a little bit of spinning around and keeping him off me here, and then friendly G55 gets in on the fight. So definitely say thank you to that. Rolling down to get in on him, and he decides to climb straight up at me. Not exactly the shot I wanted here, but it worked. And the only damage I took there was actually my right wing hitting his wreckage on the way up. I shot his right wing off, and his left wing slammed into mine pretty good as he went past me. However, it didn't stop me from really being able to maneuver at all, which was a little odd. But there was the 3rd kill for this battle. There's 1 guy left down at our A point. I'm moving, well, at their A point now. I'm going to move in and see if I can't get in there and help our boys out. And like I said in the chat, it never fails. I have good battles when I don't pause the YouTube video. So I just went back and had to re-record the audio from the replays. It wasn't that big of a deal. It just takes a little bit of extra time to line up and sync up the audio to make sure that it's synced up correctly, and a little bit of extra work to put the video together, but it's alright. It's not that bad. I'm getting fairly good at it because I do that kind of often where I have a movie playing or a YouTube video in the background. At any rate, our team took out the final guy down at A, and there's another victory, another smoke on 3 kill victory roll at the end of the battle, and the tickets run out, and there's the 2nd battle. So not too terribly bad there. 2 light cruisers and 6 aircraft destroyed between 2 battles here, and both 2nd places. Kind of funny. Like I said, the battles were really similar. I did end up with a 10,000 Silver Lion treasure chest here, so never going to complain about that. Unless, of course, it's in between 2 1 millions, then I might be a little disappointed. But 10,000 is better than nothing. So ended up with 117,000 lions in this battle with the 10,000 battle trophy treasure chest. Got real close, got another 12,000 research towards the G91, got real close to finishing that. And another second place there. Almost the same awards, actually. There are the kills. Took a little bit more damage in this one, but it was from running into one of the guys I shot down, and that'll do it. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. You can have a lot of fun with the G55S, that's for sure. I'm working on the rest of my Italian tree. I'll start flying them a little more often now. And that'll do for today. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Thank you very much for stopping by. Have a great day.